Tune in to Africa Business Radio on www.africabusinessradio.com. Find us on Facebook, Africa Business Radio, and on Twitter at Africa Biz Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
It is Africa Business Radio, and of course, welcome to the show this morning. The month of May was the nursing month, and it is the month where we celebrate the nursing profession and nurses across the world. And of course, specifically, the 12th of May is the International Nurses Day. Yes, that's what they call it. It's a day that they celebrate, or that we celebrate, and we celebrate the contribution that nurses make to our society generally across the world. And of course, this interview was supposed to come the month of May, but I think it is not too late for us to also have this conversation this morning. And of course, we're talking specifically about the nursing profession and the nursing industry as a whole, looking at some of the challenges that the profession is currently facing, especially in Africa, and also some of the initiatives that different organizations are currently, working on to improve the nursing profession, and also to improve the contribution of the profession to our society generally. This month, this year's theme for the nursing day was around looking at healthcare as a fundamental human right. And of course, if you know what the sustainable development goal, this current one is about, healthcare is one of the major parts of that particular initiative. And of course, this morning I have Nadine on the line with me, and of course, we are talking about the nursing profession in Africa and the contribution of nurses to our society. And also, she is the scientific affair and education manager at the 3M. And of course, she will also be telling us some of the initiatives that they are currently working on. And of course, and also some of the challenges that they've identified as a company, and what they think can be the solution to this problem, so that we can maximize the potential contribution of nursing profession and also nurses across Africa to our society in general. Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning, Soji.
Thank you for joining me this morning. Quickly, can you tell us about yourself? I know I'm not sure if you were a nurse before. What are your experience in the nursing profession, and why are we talking about this profession this morning?
Yes, I am actually a nurse. I'm qualified in 1984, so I'm an old soul. Let's put it that way. And I did practice nursing for quite some time. After I finished training, I actually went and specialized and did anesthetic nursing. So I was responsible for helping the anesthetist put the patient to sleep and looking after the patient when they woke up. Right. After that, then I've gone into the corporate world.
Okay, in your experience as a nurse, what are some of the highlights of your career actually? Because, like you said, you've been in the industry for quite a long time actually before you came into the corporate world. What are some of the highlights of your time when you were a practicing nurse?
Okay, for me, the very first highlight was actually standing up on stage in front of everybody, promising to look after people and to do the sick no harm. That was our nursing pledge, just the same as doctors do. We actually also get up and we say the nursing pledge. So that was my number one highlight, and I think I remember that. And then thereafter is actually the contribution I made to patients' recovery and how I actually saw them actually getting better with my help. And for me, that was important, and to alleviate their concerns as well as their discomfort and reassurance as well.
All right. Some people have of the opinion that nurses actually much more important than actual doctors in a clinical setup, because some people say nurses actually perform the actual work in an hospital or in a clinic. What would you say is the role of nurses within a medical setup?
Okay, so I think we all have our role to play within the medical setup, and everybody has a different role to play. So for nursing, we with the patient 24/7. So we with them, we look after them, we take care of them, and we are doctor's assistants, and we are also the sort of eyes and ears when we act with the patient. You must remember as well, doctors have studied for quite a long time, and we work together as a team. Without each other, the care of a patient would not exist.
All right, I quite agree. With you on that. All right, let's look at the current trend in the nursing profession across Africa currently, or in the industry generally. What is happening?
Okay, so basically what is happening is that nurses are becoming, we actually uplifting nurses and nursing education, and we are becoming looked at more as professional people with scientific. Our nursing is now based on scientific evidence and not so much as what the old sisters used to tell us, this is the way things get done. We actually, everything that we do now is based on science. And in order for that, we need to elevate nursing. So the education has to be a lot more involved and a lot more scientific than what it was before.
In terms of, you have moved from the actual profession to the corporate side of things right now. In terms of the entire industry, looking at the investment, looking at the business side, what are we seeing currently? What is happening?
Okay, definitely we are seeing that the industry, especially multinationals, are actually seeing that the nursing industry needs some assistance, because there's certain challenges the nurses face when it comes to keeping abreast with education and with scientific evidence. And we've actually found that by making resources available to them for ease, wherever they are in their day, they can actually have access to education. And this is online platforms, and especially what 3M have actually done is we've created what we call the 3M Healthcare Academy, which is worldwide, and we're launching it in Africa at the moment, where nurses can log on free of charge, as long as they just have a mobile phone that can be connected to the internet. They can have access to the latest scientific evidence by key opinion leaders.
All right. So, education is one of the highlights of the industry currently in terms of investment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, definitely. You know, we and I know that 3M itself are investing quite a lot of money and resources when it comes to elevating nursing education.
All right. With regards to education, what is actually the problem? Is it the cost of getting formal education as a nurse, or the cost or access to quality education itself? What is the major problem when it comes to educating professional nurse?
Okay, so I think the first thing is the fact that there is nursing shortage worldwide. This is a well-known fact. And in order for nurses to become educated, we need time away from the actual bedside of the patient. So, and congresses are very expensive. So we need to actually bring education to the nurses, as opposed from, taking them out of the patient environment.
All right, so let's look at a couple of countries in South Africa. I'm sure 3M, you guys work across the continent, not just in one country. Can you tell us some of the countries that you do your work, that you where you implement some of the initiatives that you're working on, and specifically in these countries, what is happening? because it seems most of us actually don't know much with regards to what is happening within this industry. We look at the entire healthcare sector generally, and we have failed to actually, take a much microscopic look into the different parts of the healthcare industry, and which, of course, nursing becomes one of the major parts of this.
Nadine, sorry, I've lost you there.
Okay.
I lost you there.
Okay, I'm saying that we want to look at some of the work that 3M is doing across Africa, because we tend to look at the entire healthcare sector generally without taking or adopting a microscopic approach into the specific major part of the entire healthcare industry, which of course nursing is one of those, those major part of the entire healthcare industry. Can you tell us, with specific to some countries, what are some of the things that you guys are doing across Africa?
Okay, so the initiatives, first of all, it's the Healthcare Academy, which is the online platform. And then further on, there's colleagues of mine throughout Africa that have the same they do the same work that I do, including Kenya, Ghana, the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, Zambia. And what we do is we bring, for instance, patient safety is extremely important to the whole medical profession. And we've brought an initiative called the Surgical Safety Patient Care Pathway.
Okay.
And we actually go into the hospitals and we're teaching the nurses about the WHO guidelines and how this actually is translated into day-to-day nursing of patient and patient safety, and showing them that the guidelines can be done. And they're not just words on a piece of paper.
I see. All right. So again, let's look at the theme of this year's International Nurses Day, looking at healthcare as a fundamental human right. What do you think?
Human rights, I think every patient has a right to care. Every patient has a right to educational and the best care that can possibly be given to them with the resources that the people actually have right now. That's on the patient side. On the nurses side, the basic rights of a nurse is also is actually to ensure that we get recognition for the work that we actually do and how we actually contribute to the recovery of the patient. And that means safe working conditions,
okay,
and as much resources as we possibly can get, given the circumstances of each country.
Have there been any complaints around remuneration for nurses in terms of salaries and benefit? Has there been any complaint?
If you think about it, throughout the world, in every single profession, and everyone always complains that there's, not enough remuneration. I think remuneration goes further than just money. And I think it's all comparable, and depending on where you are in the chain is your remuneration, because obviously you only get paid for how you're educated and your area of expertise. So for me, I think that's a very much of a grey area, and everybody, has different viewpoints. I think it's a very personal thing.
All right. Finally, what are some of the advice that you have for nurses across Africa, and also policymakers in terms of the profession?
I think number one, always remember patient safety. Always remember the nursing pledge that you actually stood up in front of your friends and your family. And for those who are actually wanting to go into the nursing profession, remember to get as high academic qualifications that you can. This includes like your health subjects and mathematics. It's extremely important that you actually get a university entrance to study to become a nurse to actually make a difference.
And how can people access your education platform again? I hope it's free.
Yes, it's 100% free. You can actually, on any platform, you can Google 3M Learning, and it will come up with different sites depending where you are, and you can log onto that site free of charge. All you need to do is give your details and what your area of expertise is and what you would like to, and you will get reminders and you'll be able to do the online courses.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Nadine, for joining us on the show this morning and sharing your insight on talking about the International Nurses Day 2018. We hope when we call on you again, I think we actually need to start talking more about the nursing profession and what is happening within the industry, especially for nurses and professionals within this particular industry.
Well, thank you very much. And yes, Joe, it would be very nice to talk to you later on, and maybe perhaps we could maybe have a panel with some nursing educators and people from the governing bodies as well. We could maybe think of setting something up like that.
Okay, that sounds really, really good. We'll reach out.
Thank you very much.
All right,
enjoy your day.
Cheers, bye. All right, that was Nadine from 3M, and of course talking about the International Nurses Day 2018, and also looking at nursing profession generally, looking at what is happening currently in terms of the business and also investment and some of the challenges that nurses are facing, specifically on access to formal education or formal training for nurses. And of course, I think we will bring you more around this particular conversation. And like Nadine suggested, we'll possibly host a sort of roundtable discussion around this to further unpack what is happening within the nursing profession across Africa. That's all the work we have for you this morning. Thank you once again for joining me. Of course, stay engaged with us at Africa Business Radio on Twitter, Africa Business Radio on Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. From me, it is goodbye.